On the first morning of May 2023, deep in the green heart of the Colombian Amazon, a small Cessna 206 lifted off the runway. On board were 3 adults and 4 children whose lives were about to change forever. They were headed toward Bogota, hoping for a better future. But the sky had different plans for them. Only minutes after takeoff, the pilot reported engine trouble. His voice, tense and shaken, crackled through the radio. Then, silence. The signal vanished, and the small white aircraft disappeared into the endless jungle canopy. For days, rescue teams searched the rainforest from the air. All they could see was a sea of green, stretching beyond the horizon. No smoke, no broken trees, no sign of life. What they didn't know was that deep below those leaves, the plane had already crashed. 3 adults died on impact, including the children's mother. But miraculously, the children survived. A 13-year-old girl, her 9-year-old brother, a 4-year-old sister, and a baby barely 1 year old. 4 children, alone, in one of the most dangerous jungles on Earth. Their story is something the world still struggles to believe. The Amazon is not kind. It is a place of venomous insects, jaguars, poisonous berries, and unending rain. But these children were indigenous. They grew up learning the forest's rules, what to fear, what to touch, what to eat, what to avoid. And now those lessons became their only lifeline. For the first few days, they stayed near the wreckage. They found a small bag of cassava flour and used it carefully, just enough to survive. But the food ran out, and the jungle does not wait. So they walked. The oldest girl carried the baby on her hip, sometimes on her back, sometimes in her arms when the baby cried through the night. The 9-year-old collected fruit and leaves he recognized. The 4-year-old tried her best to keep up, tiny feet sinking into the wet soil, stumbling but determined. They trusted each other. They depended on each other. They kept moving. Meanwhile, hundreds of soldiers and indigenous trackers searched for them. Drones flew overhead. Dogs combed the ground. Every day, the rescuers found clues. A small footprint, a half-eaten fruit, a shelter made from palm leaves. The children were alive, somewhere. But the rainforest swallowed everything. Rain washed away tracks. Animals scattered objects. Every lead felt like it was disappearing before their eyes. Still, the search never stopped. The children wandered for days, then weeks. They endured mosquito swarms, freezing nights, hunger that twisted their stomachs, fear that made every sound feel like danger. Yet they pushed on, driven by something unexplainable: hope. The 13-year-old girl became the protector, the leader, the one who whispered to her siblings that everything would be all right, even when she herself wasn't sure. The 9-year-old became the scout, the gatherer, the problem solver. The 4-year-old became the quiet fighter, and the baby, the fragile heartbeat that kept them all going. 40 days passed. 40 days in one of the most unforgiving places on Earth. And then it happened. A search team moving slowly through the forest heard a faint cry. Not an animal, a human voice. They froze, listened again, and then they saw movement behind the leaves. The children emerged, exhausted, thin, covered in bug bites, but alive. Alive. It was a moment that made rescuers drop their weapons and fall to their knees. A moment some of them later described as a miracle. 4 siblings who had survived a plane crash, survived starvation, survived predators, survived the Amazon itself. The world erupted with disbelief and awe. Nurses wept as they carried the children into helicopters. Soldiers cheered. The President of Colombia called it a story written by God. But the real story was written by the courage of 4 kids who refused to give up. Their survival was not luck, it was strength, ancestral knowledge, determination, and a bond so powerful that even the Amazon could not break it. Even today, experts say no one has ever heard a survival story quite like this one. Few adults could make it 40 days alone in that jungle. But these children did. The oldest girl later said she simply believed that if they kept walking, someone would find them. She had no map, no tools, no food, just faith. And that faith saved them. What happened in the Colombian Amazon in 2023 is more than a story of tragedy and rescue. It is a story of resilience, of instinct, of childhood strength that defies imagination. 4 children entered a nightmare and walked out alive. A reminder to all of us that even in the darkest forests, even when hope feels lost, the human spirit can shine brighter than we ever expect.